everybody. Welcome to a post-Gabba test all over bar the cricket, and we are going to be doing a little bit of gloating here because inside 6 days, Australia have taken a 2-0 lead and potentially a stranglehold on this Ashes series. We're going to talk about what happened at the back end of that series, a bit of an Archer, Stokes Smith blow-up. I love that. We're going to talk about Travis Head and what he experienced out in the middle. We're going to talk about Alex Carey's amazing test match. Mitch Starc has put one of the great 2-game test series together of all time. There is so much to get through. And I spent the 3.5, 4 days with the big Doss up there, the mayor of Queensland, and he was everywhere, Bluey. And you are down there with the moon boot on. So I'm interested in your thoughts as well on this test match, which, by the way, I'll start with you, Bluey, was much more of a test match than we saw in Perth.
Yeah, it was. Well, it went more than 2 days, which was great. Went into the 4th day, which was nice. But well played, Australia. I thought they were bloody good. A lot better than what they were in the first test match in Perth, where we all know it was just over in a flash thanks to Travis Head. But, I think Australia are getting better. Michael Neser was brilliant. The Poms, their bowling was putrid, I've got to say. I was watching Stokes and Cast going about it after that first spell, or the opening spell of Archer, and also Atkinson. And I thought that spell of bowling was shocking, which sort of got Australia right into the game. But good to watch, I tell you what. And then, as you said, just that last half an hour when Steve Smith came out to bat and taking Jofra Archer on. I know there was like a bit of toing and froing with the verbal, but how well did he play? Just quietly, like the second ball he faced, I think, from Jofra, he pulled him in front of square, 150 Ks, and then the finish with a 6. It was bloody awesome batting. Well done.
No doubt about that. And the numbers, we're all 7, of course, 2.95, 2.98, 3.14 million watching Big Dots. So the eyeballs on Test cricket when we play England in Australia are extraordinary.
Yeah, exciting stuff, JB. And, we missed our little mate Blue, didn't we? Unfortunately, but we'll catch up with him this week in Adelaide. Always miss his voice of reason. And I'd be interested also just to hear, Bluey, as we get into this, just his thoughts on, his old mate, off-spinner Nathan Lyon. We all had our say on, what that looked like. But at various stages of the Brisbane Test match, we all thought, gee, this seems like a glaring hole in the Australian lineup. No discredit at all to the players who did a mighty job, and we'll go, right the way through that. But, yeah, I think just moving forward, regardless of the pink ball, there's always a role to play with spinners in Test match cricket, especially as they start to get into the 4th and 5th days. We didn't quite get there this time, but, it sort of feels like we're starting to get a tempo of Test match cricket where we're kind of we've sort of cast the crazy shit out, and we're now starting to play fair dinkum Test match cricket. Like when you look at Australia, the way they ground on that 3rd day overnight, 6 for 280 odd, ground their way, a couple of early wickets, and then just managed to find their tempo, right through that Test match. A little bit like the Stokes as well. Innings on that 4th day. We were just really worried about how it is that he was going to, manage to find his feet. So, look, lots of really positive and good Test match 5s, not to mention Brisbane was just, I don't think Queensland actually has been better over these last 3 days, 4 days than what I've seen it. Beautiful light breeze, crystal clear skies every day, damn good batting wicket. Hello, Test match cricket, good wicket.
Yeah.
And a bloody good contest.
Well, good thing we did get the game finished, Bluey, because we went to the plough in afterwards, all the 7 crew and commentators, and we're sitting there having a very nice drink because, as you know, not only the commentators but the crew at 7 are just the greatest people ever. And Bluey, it thundered down.
Hosed
down. It was
right.
Oh, my back was wet trying to get out of the rain. So it was a good thing we did get the game finished.
Well, what's the weather up there like today, which is the day after, Haydos? Is it back to blue skies?
Another paradise day. They're a little bit of overzealous cloud, one or two that's just poking around in the distance. But otherwise, it's been another day of sunshine. After this potty, I'm going to get back out on my mower. I've had 4 days off the lawn. I said that was what I had my eye on this week. Unfortunately for me, the hot, perfect weather means that my grass is just starting to flourish.
Right. Now, let's talk about that last 15, 20 minutes, because we all love seeing that. We all love seeing the contest. It took way too long for England to come to the table with contest, but eventually there was some verbal and some chirp and some aggressive body language, and I just loved it. Bluey, I loved Smudge's response. Oh, you finally decided to bowl quick when the game's over, champion. You know, like it was. I like the fact that he didn't go where I know I certainly would have gone, and that's a lot more vitriolic with the language. I thought it was a very classy response, but what he did was say, listen, if you're going to start with all of this garbage, what about doing it when the game's on the line?
Yeah, and you're right. It was a response to what Archer said first. So Archer went at Smithy first. He sniffed him up with a good short one, and you're right. He was bowling 150 Ks. He's copped a bit today, Jofra Archer, and a bit of commentary around. Well, where was this in the first Test match? Where was it in the first innings as well?
And that's fair enough.
And that's fair enough as well. But what I will say, and I'm not defending Jofra Archer, is that, and I'm not putting him in the great bowlers category either, because he's not. But a lot of the great fast bowlers over the years have gone up and down the gears, and they bowl within themselves, and they have a little spell where they go for it. He did cop a bit of criticism in Perth, the second innings, for only bowling 100 and, mid 130s. So whether he heard that, and then, there wasn't much for him the game last night, but he ran in and bowled nice and fast and gave us a bit of entertainment. And so I think the messaging has got to obviously come from the coach and the captain. So he's got it there, right? So he can still bowl 150 Ks, but they've got to get it out of him at the right time. So that's up to their messaging. I think Jofra's his own person. And there's probably just a little bit of hint of, is he trying half the time? Is he putting in when he needs to? So that messaging's obviously got to come from Brendan McCullum, who spoke to Channel 7, didn't he, last night, and sort of defended him.
Well, the only thing I'll say about that, Dos, is if we move into the winter codes, the rugby's league and union and AFL, the one thing as a teammate, certainly in the AFL landscape, that teammates hate are people that pick and choose. You can't pick and choose. You're either flat out the whole time and doing everything you can to win a game of football, whatever code it is, or cricket. You can't be one of those flighty blokes that goes, okay, it suits me now, so I'm going to have a dip. But then, I'm not. I mean, I don't think you could ever accuse Merv Hughes of picking and choosing. So I just look at that and think that's what would disappoint McCullum and Stokes, I reckon.
Yeah, Merv would pick and choose what pizza topping that he's going to have. But Jofra Archer, let me tell you, I was seething last night. I was on the M's, and that was coming up in front of me, and I tell you, I was shaking. That's how kind of invested I felt in that little tournament. You'll hear a lot of players kind of defend, themselves around, do they miss the game, and largely you kind of say, well, you miss a large part of the game, which is the comradeship, and then you'll say, well, but I don't miss the travel, the different hotels, being away from family, and blah blah blah. Last night, I was up in that commentary box, ready to strap on the whites and go to war again, because they're the things, especially after what I'd seen, Blue. I'm not going to be so kind. I think you're very gracious in your appraisal of Jofra Archer. I mean, just rocking up day 2 with the pillow under his arm, and I said on air at the time, that you don't tempt, because you're going to have 11 people. You got to remember that the Gabba is Cricket Australia's not just its weapon, it's its fortress. It had been, 14,260 days since England got over the line at the Gabba, and you don't need any evidence to try and fire a side up, especially when it was in the balance at that stage. For certain, they'd done a couple of really good things. including, Joe Root's 100, lest we forget. But you know what was amazing was the fact that he walked across, and I just thought, you know what, if I was in that side, I'd be going, Bud, you're not only not going to sleep during the day, I'm going to give you your worst nightmares at night as well with that pillow. But then when he came into bowl, and this is where Blue, you and I might make a difference, he's a very good natural athlete. So he generates very easy pace. So his easy pace deliveries, I think he could basically have 3 steps and bowl 132. That'd be something really simple for him. But where England are looking for a point of difference, and they were boasting about this, in fact, they were crowing about this before they came out here, was this apparent airspeed. Now, Jofra Archer has got a handbrake, pretty much everything that you've seen going through the gears. He's got a handbrake on those gears, and then he releases it for his final 5 overs, you know, when they're going at 7s and over, and performing and carrying on like he did. I've got a real issue with that. Plus also, the one factor I want to point out, I have not seen Jofra Archer do anything else pre-game other than kick footballs and a couple of headers. And then he comes out, and every great bowler will tell you this, the first 5 or 6 deliveries that you bowl to an opening batsman of high class like Australia is, they have to be on the money. And it was an absolute pile of poo. And before you knew it, Australia, who aren't necessarily notoriously really super quick scorers, especially Heady, you know, the way that he plays, he gets into the groove and then he expands his game. They were just travelling at 5s, almost 6 runs and over, and they didn't look threatening at all. You know, so there's a few factors there, and I could probably even mention the Travis Head drop as well, where Jofra Archer, your premium fast bowler, his head hit his chin that far, just about you'd have to replace divots in his chest. So there was a few things that were really disturbing from my point of view about Jofra Archer in particular.
Sitting next to Bluey late in that game, our great mate Ricky Ponting, next to me in 7 commentary, he dead set thought he was back playing.
Yeah.
He's leaning forward. He's got the chest out literally between Finchy and myself, and he's given it bowling fast now. Bit late for that, champ. He's champed him on air.
No, that sounds like that's what Haydos was doing in the Triple M box as well. And I felt it as well. So don't get me wrong. What I'm trying to say too is, and I love that, you know, was Broady up there as well, or who was?
No, it was Finchy. Finchy put, which is gold by him. He just put the microphone down and said, "Punter, this is all you," because Punter had fire coming out of his nostrils. The Mowbray boy just reappeared, and he's just leaning forward. I love every second of it.
As Haydos is saying, like, if you've played at that level, you get it, and you get those little cheap shots from like last night, Jofra Archer running in, bowling 150 Ks and having a bit of a go. The only thing that, just to finish off on that point, is when we talk about express fast bowling, right? So we're talking about guys like Sean Tate, Brett Lee, Shoaib Akhtar, who every time they bowled, pretty much they tried to bowl as fast as they could. So they've got to work out what sort of bowler they want Jofra Archer to be. Or do they want him to be someone like a Alan Donald or a Curtly Ambrose, who did go up and down the gears? You can't tell me, Haydos, that those blokes didn't go up and down the gears. Whereas what you guys are saying, you want Jofra Archer to run in and bowl 3 or 4 overs of 150 Ks every time. But is he getting that message from the England hierarchy?
The other thing is, Blue, Baz McCullum articulated really nicely during that interview the fact that everyone's different, and he'll work out how to instruct him to go up and down the gears, which I think he is actually that sort of player. I don't disagree with that at all. My trouble is that you just don't go straight into a performance without a decent rehearsal, you know, without actually earning your stripes. And if he is that sort of bowler, and I'm not saying he is, because I don't think he's skillful enough to do that. He's got a beautiful natural rhythm. And I feel a little bit like Brett Lee, you mentioned that name. I feel that Brett Lee, when he had his velocity right, he would also get his seam position and swing right. and he'd also nail his lengths. Those three things were the perfect synergy. I feel Jofra Archer is the same. He's not a gears bowler. He's not a thinking bowler. I mean, I'm led to believe that he spends more time than his Game Boy on anything rather than actually the student of the game. So, go figure.
Yeah, I'm a bit with Doss on this one, Bluey. I think fast bowling's about effort. And if you don't bring effort, then you're not going to bring the best. Let's, by the way, all we're talking about, 10 or 15 of those balls in that last session were rockets.
They were rockets.
That's proper gas. 150 plus is as fast as a cricket ball can be bowled. All right, let's talk about a couple of the great performances. I want to start. I mean, Mitch Starc will get to, again, player of the match, and what an extraordinary 18 wickets and 70 runs, and just step up in the absence of Cummins and Hazelwood. What a bloody superstar! I can't love him anymore. And we'll get to him. Alex Carey, Bluey, might have played his best game as an Australian cricketer.
Could easily been the player of the match too, Alex Carey, if it wasn't for a number of other performances in that game. But so good up to the stumps, and a complete change of tactic as well. Didn't see that at all in Perth. There was probably a little bit more bounce maybe in Perth than what there was in Brisbane. I'll tell you what though, and just another point, I love that pitch as well. I thought they got it absolutely spot on. Yes, it cracked up a little bit, but that's cricket in Australia. If you're going to have pace and bounce, the pitches are going to crack up a little bit and offer a little bit of variation in bounce. So that was fine. But to do it on that particular surface, and then because we know what England's tactics are, right? To guys like Boland and Neser, they would have been charging them, batting out of their crease. And for Alex Carey to do that, and the way that he did it as well, like he was so clean. And then, just to top it off, that catch against Stokes was just a bit of ice cream on top, if you like. So I think now he's getting mentioned as the best keeper in the world, and I think it's hard to argue about it now. I think, and if you talk about other very, very good Australian wicket keepers, and I'm talking guys like Brad Haddon, Ian Healey, those sort of boys, I think he's just starting to go. He's got a better batting average than those boys, and I tell you what, he's keeping not just this game also, because we've seen him keep in Sri Lanka, the West Indies, on pitches that don't carry as much and they're spinning. He has been world class now for 2 or 3 years, so I'm glad that he's starting to get noticed as well, because I think he's been undervalued.
Did you like him elevated to 6 and Inglis batting behind him, boys?
Yep.
Doss?
Bloody oath.
Yeah, I don't mind that. Yeah, I think he's a genuine, and it goes to show that there was rewards there as well, wasn't he? I think the only thing that I'll say about that is that he is probably one of the best players with the tail as well. Now, as it turned out, that kind of happened, right? But look, I just think there are very few players that make that adjustments like Carey. So I don't mind seeing him where he typically bats, but also equally don't mind the number 6, the promotion. He got 60 odd, really good strike rate, really proactive batting, almost 90, kept the game and scoreboard moving forward, keeps players under pressure. I like the fact that he settled down quickly in the first innings as well, whereas Cameron Green just got the beans on and it ended up costing him his wicket. Carey, I think, was a bit out of his box initially. And he can get those big blue eyes of his spinning. And I'd also say that actually there was probably a few guys that did that in the first innings. I think Smitty was a bit out of his box as well for quite a long time during his 60 odd. And also Cameron Green, if you're going to put together a big first innings total, Australia's goal against this team should be to bat once, not wait for the tail to come in and parachute in and try and get them home. That's not going to work all the time. It was only Starc's magnificent that worked. There needs to be some consolidated efforts right the way through the order. Hard to criticise because every player for the first time in Test match cricket history, as long as this game's been played, got 13 or more runs in the one side. So that, it's an amazing team contribution to that total of 511.
I think he's also, just finishing on Kez with the bat, Bluey, he's been a bit unlucky. Like I remember with Adam Gilchrist, the greatest ever keeper batsman the game's ever seen, a lot of those amazing innings he played, he got to bat with an established batsman for a long time. Whereas Kez, I reckon, the last 2 years has come to the crease and the established batter at the other end's got out almost straight away. So he's gone, right, I've got Matthew Hayden at the crease with me, or right, I got Greg Blewett at the crease with me. I can just bloody crunch away here because I've got a bloke on 70, 80, 90 at the other end. That almost hasn't happened to him. So he's had to, in innings, adjust. And I agree with Haydos. He's actually done it bloody well. But what he needs is an extended version of batting, for a couple, 2 or 3 hours with, someone at the other end who can hold the bat really well.
Well, that's why I like the promotion as well to number 6, because for South Australia, Doss, he's probably for the last 2 or 3 years, he's batted at number 5, and he'd be averaging probably close to 60, I reckon, for South Australia. He's just been so consistent. So, and I agree with you. I actually disagree with you, Haydos, a little bit. I think at times he's frustrated me with the way he's batted with the tail. I don't think he's been smart enough at times, but yeah, I reckon easily in Test match cricket he could bat 4, 5 if he wasn't a keeper. I reckon he could get a game just with his batting.
All right, speaking of batting, Ben Stokes, Doss. So all of this smack, whatever they call, the kids call modern chat. There's another word they use. I can't think of it. You're talking, dross, whatever the word the kids use now, leading into this series about what England were going to do and what they were not going to do with the bat, and how Crawley was going to climb in and Duckett was going to climb in and Brooke was going to smack it around everywhere. Finally, at the Gabba, we saw Ben Stokes do what a test batsman should do. Value his wicket, dig in, say, you're going to have to bloody get me out. And when he did get out, after grinding and fighting and doing everything an English captain should do, he punched himself in the head.
He gave himself a swift uppercut, didn't he? And I think that was maybe on behalf of how he was feeling about his teammates, who were not bad in the first innings, but it's 6 for 128, 7 for then 224. That's that partnership before Jacks got out. It was just good old-fashioned cricket. Ben Stokes' 50 came off 152 balls. That's not Bazball. That's just getting the job done. Strike rate of 32. And we're all talking about it being quite an ominous thing for obvious reasons, because some of his best innings, he's actually started off with a really slow gait, and then he's come through the barriers when the situation presented itself. And Jack's the same, that wasn't his natural game. He's 40-odd with a strike rate of 44. That's not Jack's. He's a really good, and we've seen now a couple of these guys that are really good stroke players. That's why they can afford to play this Bazball. You got Brooks, who just looks like he's just batting on a different plane, a little bit like Smudgy. And then you've got, this Jacks, who I thought was a bit underbowled as well. I was a bit frustrated with this the strategy of their bowling effort. Some of those 20-odd overs that Cast bowled could have been Jacks, and it was bouncing and turning. And he's not a big turner of the ball. So he's a pretty versatile cricketer, very talented stroke player, big, tall bloke, as is Crawley. Got big, long levers. And, boy, when he hits it stays hit. So I love that sort of cricket. I know that we probably are on this podcast are real traditionalists, it must be said. But, gosh, it's just nice to see a day where you can sit back, you can watch Cato devouring quivering muffins, I think you said that on air.
Oh, God. Yep. No.
And just settle into a day test cricket.
Oh, Bluey, they have beautiful food, as you know, at the Gabba. So we get there to our dressing room to get changed in the morning. They have magnificent fruit, magnificent sandwiches, and they have a tray of about 6 muffins, which you traditionally have been good at demolishing as well.
Deflecting.
But nothing compares to Kadich. He turns up, and one of those sandwiches where you got to pull the plastic back off it, one of them's gone like that. That the sandwich just evaporates.
It's inhaled.
And these 6 muffins are sitting there, and they literally start shaking because they know one of them's gone. And he just picks it up, and it's just gone. And he said to me, they're too fresh. If they weren't that fresh, they'd have a chance. But he said, because they're so fresh, they're gone.
Because normally when they're a bit drier, you got to chew them a little bit more. So
Yeah.
you got to take your time. But they were just going.
Oh.
I'll tell you why else they were scared, because Bray, you were probably lining up behind Caddo. You are one of the great muffin eaters
Not
that I've ever
anymore.
seen.
Not
So
anymore.
No, I'll
there's-
have to defend JB there, because
Yeah.
if there can't be anything more tempting than a mini
Oh.
meat pie, and JB is he's just shaking him off like that. Nope,
Oh.
nope, I don't need that. I
Louis,
don't need that. And he's been good.
the
He's been
roof-
really good, Blue.
The muffin top, the roof was starting to extend a couple of years ago, so I've just had to draw a line through them, and it kills me.
Well, this is 2 years in a row where you've had to be really disciplined throughout the summer. And it's good that you are. You just need to be a little bit more disciplined leading into the summer.
And at the bar afterwards. Well, what's happened to me, which has caused me enormous distress this summer, is I get a bottle, and you blokes are, if you're there, we have probably a glass and a half each, and that's just about right. But what we've got, which I find extraordinary, and kudos to him, is an honest buying pom.
Ooh.
So Broady turns around and says, it's my hook, so I'm getting a bottle. So he comes in with another one, and then I look at myself and think, do I actually need another one? And
just go then. Just go.
Yeah.
Don't get sucked in, mate.
Yeah.
Just go.
No, I can't. I'm putting my hand up. At that stage, I can't. I've got muffin discipline. I haven't got wine discipline. That's just a fact. Hey, Dos, as a Queenslander, let's just chat for a second about Michael Neser. Not a person involved in Australian cricket wasn't pumped for him in that second innings.
No, that's right. I mean, just the way he batted as well and hung in there, it looked really responsible. Just a handy contribution. Then with the ball, it was, I felt a bit sorry for Neser, because he's maybe going to miss the Test match in Adelaide. Can you believe that?
Probably
He's bowled
will.
his way to a Test match victory. He's five for just a real workman, tradesman-like approach to Test match cricket, which has been his hallmark for Queensland. He's just done the job, tirelessly done the job. And I was a bit sorry for him taking the new ball, because you could just sense that he was overstriding and really trying too hard, which, not a sin to try hard. But his first 4 overs were terrible. And then his next 4 overs, he got 2 for probably 20 or something like that. His next 5 overs was the ones that I want to make a special point of, because his next 5 overs was in that partnership phase where Stokes was going and was batting down the hatches, and it required, as you boys know, playing up the Gabba, it required that holding pattern, that pressure cooker squeeze that you get. Guys like Adam Dale used to do it brilliantly. Not a lot of pace, not a lot of swing, not much in the wicket, just time to kill on the day and on the scoreboard. And that spell there was one of the things that I'm most proud about with Neser. He held his nerve. He didn't try too hard. He just did his job. And then guess what? The rewards came. His final 4 or 5 overs, he got 3 wickets in it, including that of Stokes and also Jacks. So, gosh, what a lion-hearted performance, and I'm not just saying that because he's a Queenslander. I love guys that come into this culture and wear the baggy green, not as a badge of honor, even the way that he celebrated. How bloody cool was that? Like, he's taken 2 of the freakish catches, and it's like, oh, yeah, it's just my job. That's what I'm paid to do. Boys, I love that stuff so much. I think he's next Prime Minister of Australia for me.
Well, and Bluey, nothing the Doss has said it's impossible to disagree with any of it. He's a bloody ripper. We all love him. But shock me as well on a wicket that's going up and down a bit and doing a little bit. Get the keeper up. Get a bloke that can bowl 130. Get him targeting the stumps. How many times do we say it? Actually aiming at the 3 things in the ground, and good results happen.
Yeah, exactly right. It was exactly what was needed at the time. That ball got a little bit soft, and I thought, batting at times looked quite easy on that pitch. I know there was a little bit of up and down, but when that pink ball got soft, that was prime time batting because you had the pace, you could play your shots. And Ness is just, he's the teammate that you love to have right next to you, right? Like you know exactly what you're going to get every single time in the field with the bat and maximum effort. We're talking about effort with the ball. You can't question any effort from Michael Neser. So just quickly harping back to the Nathan Lyon selection, Haydos, I would have probably played Lyon and Neser in that side. I probably would have left Doggett out of that team, but I thought very good selection, Ness playing in Brisbane where he's so familiar with the conditions.
What about the catch? Steve Smith, Bluey, you're the Aussie fielding coach for a long time. That's as good a cop as you'll see.
Absolutely. I think I'm hoping that a lot of people realise how difficult it is fielding where Steve Smith was fielding. He was a little bit wider than what he normally would be at first slip because of Alex Carey up to the stumps. But often you can't see the ball as soon as it's nicked because you've got Alex Carey in front of you. Just that for that first 2 or 3 metres, you can't actually see the ball. And then all of a sudden it appears and then bang, down to your left after a big partnership as well. So I don't know how many minutes that partnership went on for, but just to have that concentration. And I mean, we've seen him take freakish catches over a long period of time, but that was the other huge difference between the teams. I mean, you know, Labuschagne took a great catch to finish off the first innings, and then England's catching was shocking, absolutely shocking. And I've always said it, Haydos, and I hope you would agree with this as well. Often the fielding is a very good factor in how both teams are going. And I thought Australia, their fielding was absolutely first class, and England were way off the mark with theirs.
I've never seen a great team without it being a great fielding team. Might be one for us to ponder over, but I was having a bit of a laugh to myself because day 3, Blue, you know that you get all the Star Wars characters coming along. And I thought of saying on air,
Gabba Troopers.
the Gabba Troopers. I thought about saying on air that perhaps they've copped one of England fielding unit have copped one of Lukey Skywalker's lightsabers to the hands because it didn't seem like anything was getting mitted.
Hey, just before we leave this game, so what do Australia do coming into this next one? Lyon comes 100% back in. We hear that Cummins is 100% playing. Smudge saying at the end of the test match, very happy to hand the captaincy back to Como. I've enjoyed it, but he can have it next game. So what happens to our team, Blue?
Well, for me, those two blokes come back into the side, and I would probably leave Doggett and, unfortunately, Ness out as well. I just think they've got to... Doggett was better this game, I thought, too. He was better for the run in Perth. I thought he bowled a lot better. But if you've got two guys that come in, you know, Pat Cummins just comes in at any side, and Nathan Lyon's going to suit Adelaide a lot more than what would have in Perth as well. Or I think he would have played a great role in Brisbane as well on that dry sort of pitch. But, that's the team for me. Inglis stays in. I'd leave Head at the top as well. Unfortunately, that means Usman doesn't play even if he's fit. But having said that, Usman's basically had zero contribution to the first 2 test matches, apart from a couple of catches in Perth, and Australia have won both test matches. So it'd be hard to go back to Uzi now. So that'd be my team.
Interesting. Well, the one person that I just want to shine a little spotlight on that's concerning is Cam Green. Handy contribution with the bat in the first innings. Bowled 8 overs in the first bowling effort. Went at almost 5.5 runs and over. Bowled 5 overs in the second innings as well. I'm just not getting enough out of Cameron Green at the moment, and I'm wondering if there was going to be a change at the top, because as I said to you fellas, I love Heady. He's just a beauty. I'd love to see him continue his role at 5, and so I'm kind of eyeballing, you know, what the next 2 or 3 years looks like, because I think that's his ideal spot. Maybe it's not for the Ashes, but I'm just throwing that out there, which means I need a specialist batter at the top. And that starts to then underline what the all-rounder's role looks like, because I want a bowling all-rounder rather than a batting all-rounder. So for me, someone like Neser comes into that space potentially. and then you load your batting up a little bit more. And I agree with the others. I think it's a no-brainer that Lino comes back into the side. Como,
So
obviously.
you're looking at Green maybe coming out, Loss?
Potentially. I just think he's underdone a bit. Like even his batting, like he survived the other day, and kudos to him. But I just feel like at the moment he's just undercooked. Like he's got no confidence with the ball. Smith took forever to bowl him in the second innings, and with his batting, I'd just like to see him get a lot of runs. And I just think he's a little bit off, and maybe he'll work his way back in the series, and let's hope he does that. But yeah, that's just a little flag, Like Bo Webster's also there, obviously, that's done nothing wrong in the Test matches he's played. But I'd just like to see a bit more out of Cameron Green, who's sliding under the radar because we're too zip.
Bluey, the traditional night, which you've been to before, but you weren't at this Test match at Big Hillso's joint. And there was some very, very nice claret produced by the Pelican.
Right. Yeah. Is that right? What about, did he put on a feed or was it just a cheese platter?
Cheese platter. That was it.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
And Helen, what's interesting, his beautiful wife, Helen, who has had issues with us before. So what's happened a couple of times at Heels' joint is either the resident above or below has complained about the noise. And like Buzzard McNamara, our mate, is the main culprit because he speaks way too loud. So we've had a resident above or below complain about the noise levels. But a couple of years ago, Helen herself, in the master bedroom of this beautiful flat overlooking the river, Helen's come out and said, "This is the third time I've reappeared. How about you either shut up or leave?" So this time, Bluey, she's gone down the Gold Coast and evacuated her own house.
Well, smart play. What, they've just got properties. She probably had to work out whether they were going to go north or south to which property, by the sounds of it. But having said that, Hilzo's normally the ringleader as well. He's the host, but he's also the loudest and wants to stay up drinking the most as well. So I don't think Hilzo should get off that easily. The hardest thing with those things is who to invite and who not to invite. Who was not invited, Bray? Was there any controversies?
Finchy, and he wasn't happy. And this is why we love Hill so much. We then saw him out the back of the commentary boxes. There's this long corridor at the Gabba. And I said to him when he came past, I said, "Thanks, mate. They were brilliant last night." And Finchy goes, "Yeah, thanks for the invite." And then Heels goes, "Yeah, well, you're not quite at that level." Straight at him.
No filter with Heels.
Not any filter at all. And also, I wasn't happy because I'm my father's son, Bluey. You know my old man well. I hate going anywhere empty-handed. Like I can't. It's like fingers down a chalkboard. But the problem was, you can't take alcohol into the Gabba, so you can't take a bottle with you. And there's nowhere to buy it within the Gabba to then take it to Heels' joint. And at the time the game finishes, because it's a day-night game, it's 10 o'clock, all the grog shops are shut. So we had nowhere we couldn't get a bottle of wine in. So anyway, I turned up, I said, "Heels, I'm putting my hand up high, mate. It's a disgrace. I haven't got a bottle of wine to walk into your house with." And again, the no filter. He just looked at me and he said, "You bring shit anyway, so don't worry about it."
So nothing open again. Is that what's happening in Brisbane? No shops open to buy some wine.
No, she's all done.
Oh, fellas, come on. Okay. I'll tell you, on a serious note, I texted the group chat after the next day or early in the morning the next day, and I said, "How bloody good is it spending time with each other rather than sitting somewhere in the world and toasting absent friends?" I mean, Beefy was on great song. BJ was in great form.
Oh, Beach.
The big CJ.
The big round arm lefty.
Pidgey, as usual, was as boring as batshit as the cartel usually are. Everyone was just in fine fettle. And look, as I said before, we had this really gentle northeasterly breeze pretty much for those 3 days. And usually a Brisbane Test match, it can be stinking hot up here.
Yeah.
But it was even turning it on for us as well. And the other thing I'll say, and being a little bit city proud, is how pretty is our city, like leading up into Christmas. Like it really is starting to grow up. Heels' place is looking over the
Beautiful
brown.
view from there, isn't it?
Beautiful,
Yeah,
isn't
amazing.
it? The brown snake is right in the backdrop, and you've got the new casino, all the gardens, these walkover bridges, which is kind of connecting the whole of the city to different parts. Like you'd be stoked if you were the Barmy Army, because you could probably call into about 4 different pubs on the way home from the Gabba, such as the connectivity of
They're
the
all
city
shut.
as well. So, well, they don't have to be open all
shut.
day, mate. If you can't have your fill before 9 o'clock, forget it.
All right, what's on your radar time? And I'm going to open the batting. Now, I'm crediting SEN because they put it up, so it was on their socials. And I'm not sure when this banter happened, but I'm reading Piers Morgan on Twitter or X or whatever the bloody hell it is. You all know I've never been on any of that. But anyway, he says, honoured to have been selected by Australia's cheating wicketkeeper, Alex Carey, as his ultimate Ashes villain. Takes a villain to no one, Mr. Carey, says Piers Morgan. Well, Bluey, what's on my radar is firstly, understand the laws of the game. It's black and white. It's cut and dried. If you stupidly walk out of your crease, then you deserve to be run out, not stumped, run out. So that's the first thing. But second thing I'd say to Piers is, what about turning your furnace onto your own mob? We're not even 6 days into the series and you're already 2 down. You had all your bloody words to say pre-series and all the bluster and the bullshit and the garbage you're carrying on with. We're not even 6 days in and you're 2 tests down against an Australian team that's not that bloody good. Now, it's a good team, but it's not like the 2001 team that toured England. We've got no Hazelwood, no Cummins, no Lyon playing in this game, and you're still lost in 3.5 days. So, Piers, you're on my bloody radar. Bluey.
What's on my radar is, and Kookaburra are going to hate me for this, right?
Oh, no, you Grey Nichols boys just need to be careful.
Blue.
My radar, Haydos, is on the pink ball. Is the product good enough for day-night test matches? Now, Haydos, you wear glasses. JB, you need glasses.
Don't need them. Don't wear them.
You do need them, and you should wear them. Now, when it gets into the last hour, boys, you're at the ground, and I don't know whether you're watching any of it live outside of the commentary box or you're just watching it through the screens like everyone does at home. Can you see that pink ball when it goes at good pace square of the wicket?
No.
No. That's
No,
right.
you
So
can't.
isn't it sort of defeats the purpose of, and I don't know whether England, it was their first pink ball game. They didn't really play a game with the pink ball either, but I've heard other players that have played lots of pink ball cricket saying they just can't see it at night, especially square of the wicket. So, I mean, we want to keep improving the product, right? Because day-night test match does add a lot in terms of what the television companies want. And so have we got it right with the colour of the ball? That's on my radar. Okay?
Right.
That's it.
I don't know what you're talking about with glasses, but anyway, Dos. They're my wife's glasses. My God. I can't see through them. All right, Dos.
They're gonna need to get refitted.
The arms have gone out sideways.
Right. To restore a bit of order in this conversation and further to your point, Blue, because we largely have a lot of games of pink ball day-night cricket in Adelaide. So what's on my radar, where is it here? It's the 17th of December to the 21st in Adelaide, is a day game. A day game, which is absolutely bloody fantastic, right? Because it gives everyone time to come to enjoy those beautiful marquees that are sitting out next to the practice wickets. It's just, it's one of the, I've always said this, boys, after we finish broadcasting, after it's all said and done with cricket, I want to lob down to Adelaide and I want to just enjoy a test match without any responsibilities whatsoever. I want to.
Bluey and I did that DOS for how many years, Bluey? We did it for about 5 straight years. And
right.
DOS, it's as much fun as you can have.
Yeah.
Yep.
So tell me how good is that, right? So and then I want to just couple up, take Kel, go out to the Barossa, go out to the Adelaide Hills. You know, just visit one of the great places on the planet, and that's the
McLaren
the outer,
Vale.
all of the wine regions. I just want to do those, Blue. I really want to just suck it all up. But the other thing is I really love about day cricket, all of us mob that do work on the game, most nights we've got an opportunity for a number of hours to have a great restaurant meal and just chew the fat. And there's going to be all of that going on next week. And boys, I got to say, I cannot bloody wait, because I reckon long live day cricket, and in particular in Adelaide.
Nice.
Good
well
radar.
Yes.
I like that radar. And we'll be going to Parisi's in Unley at one stage, having some Italian down there, Bluey. You might even come along.
I want to have a lager.
With your beautiful Greek bombshell of a wife. Would she come along, or is she anti-Italian food?
hey. No, she loves her food. Any decent grub, she's all over it.
Good.
What were you going to say, Haydos? You want to what?
I just want to have JB a beer at Bluey's Local, which is about, it's a 56 wedge
Sussex.
away. Yeah, I want to have one there with Blue. Can we go there and have a couple of frosts, blow the top off a few there?
We go to the Kentish Arms, Bluey, as well, and we love it in there. Just
that's just around the corner from me as well, Haydos. We could.
Oh my goodness! See what we're talking about here.
Yep. No, we can. I agree. So, because it's been in Adelaide, and a lot of my great mates come down for the test matches, but by the time you get to them after you finish the broadcasting day, they're either sozzled or we're tired and just want to get to and prepare for the next day. But so I like it. Share the day-night test around. Share it around.
So just to finish,
or just
before
not have
we got to keep it. It's a weapon for us. We win them all.
Correct.
Bluey, you just talking about Michael Neser before, and you said it beautifully. You know, what a magnificent teammate, someone that you just know and can trust every day. Sort of like myself. Is that what you're saying? Same sort of thing.
Yeah,
all right, anyway, this has been all over Bartha Cricket.
We like a bloke that doesn't give himself a pat on the back.
Good seeing you up there, Big Dos. The mayor, as I said, of Brisbane. Have a great time in this week. Stratty or just home?
Yeah, so I'm going to go to Stratty just to square away Christmas stuff, because we're going to live out there through January, which I'm that excited about. I turn into a kid in a candy shop when I'm out there.
Good, and no need for nudity. So that's done, Bluey, which we like.
He's off.
Joe's made the 100. We don't have to worry about that with the big man.
What did I tell you, fellas? What did I bloody tell you? That's all I got to say. It was never in doubt. Blue,
that's actually
you're on the record as saying that there was doubt. It was just never in doubt, bud.
It's actually perfect scenario. So we don't have to see you nude, and England lost the test match. It couldn't have worked out any better.
Yeah. Just say you got it wrong, Blue. That's okay. Bluey's just got to say, I got it wrong, Dos. No worries.
Yeah. And you don't have to shave down either. That's the other bonus too, Ados.
I know, Bluey, for a fact that Kel, when the Big Dots wanders out of the boudoir, wanders out of the ensuite, Kel gives it the, oh my God. What
mate,
the hell?
What about Grace? Grace made she made the Times of India for her just the relief that she had.
Oh yeah. No. We're all very pleased with that. All right. Have a great week.
Yep.
You've been listening to All Over Bartha Cricket, of course, everywhere you get your podcasts. Also, Instagram, make sure you follow us on there, and YouTube, subscribe to the channel and get stuck into the best cricket podcast around. Good to see you, boys. See you in a week.